the show here on this beautiful Thursday, August 26th, 2021. Now, today will be the last show of the week until next Tuesday, and that is mainly due to obviously week 3 of the preseason getting underway, I guess, tomorrow. There's no games tonight. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I believe. I don't even think there's a Monday game. They're kind of all just bam, tomorrow, Saturday, and some Sunday games. And then also Monday, hey, birthday over here, okay? It's my birthday. Won't be here Monday. Gonna enjoy it and have my time off, even though I had time off yesterday and whatnot, and Friday I will as well. But we're gonna enjoy the birthday weekend and kind of get after it a little bit. Going to the Twins game, gonna hang out with some friends, have some good time. So, but anyways, let's get to it, shall we? Okay, we had quite a bit of news pop off this past day and a half, in which we're gonna get to most of it. Now we're gonna go from my takeaway from the Hard Knocks episode 3, then briefly talk about the Denver Broncos and the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then end up on some Sony Michel news. So, are you ready to get your fix? Well, like I said, we're going to start right off the bat with Hard Knocks episode 3. That took place Tuesday. I got to say, got all the way, all of a sudden, like, after the show, okay, I'm chilling, having a good old time, hanging out with friends and whatnot, and laying in bed. Hits about 10 p.m. and I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, god damn it, forgot to watch Hard Knocks. But that's a good thing about HBO Max. They already had it on there. Went quick, watched it from 10 to 11. And gotta say, better than episode 2 a little bit. Not as good as that first episode. I think, episode 3 was... They didn't make it as cheesy as episode 2, so that was a really good thing. And they didn't hype it up like they did episode 1. So episode 3 was more of, you're hitting that halfway point of training camp. There's only 2 more episodes of the Hard Knocks coming out. So, really, I don't really have much on episode 3. It's really just not all in the brain up there. I can't really remember what all kind of happened and stuff. I know one thing that really intrigued me, or I thought was good about the episode, was you get to see CeeDee Lamb working Amari Cooper's brain. Like, hey, what do you do? What is your way to create separation from the receiver? How to use your foot, or how do you move your feet right off the get go? Okay, there's that 1 step that he uses, a 2-step, there's a 3-step, and stuff like that. And really, I mean, like I said, it wasn't the greatest episode. I really don't remember too much of it. I'll probably have to go back and rewatch it if I feel like it. But then again, do I really want to waste an hour of something that, I mean, I already kind of know, and it's going to be past. It's only preseason and training camp. So, but, I mean, that's basically all I kind of got on Hard Knocks episode 3. They could have done a little bit better job working in there with, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, and CeeDee Lamb. I hope episode 4 is a lot more of, CeeDee Lamb, because we haven't really got to see or hear too much from him these past couple episodes, these past 3 episodes, except for, obviously this episode 3, where he was just working Amari Cooper's brain a little bit. But I want to, see what he's got to say. I want to see Dak Prescott, give his thoughts, and Ezekiel Elliott, and more of Jerry Jones, okay? Also, one thing that really I wish would happen more, I guess, is that we would see more of those mojo moments that they brought in episode 1, and showing that they just have these random, all right, you got to be ready to blink of an eye, get on the line, run your play in your situation, stuff like that. I think that we need to see a little bit more of that, and I hope they bring that in episode 4, because I feel like that was a big part, especially in that episode 1, of how their training camp is run and what they do during those situations. They kind of just explained it right away, and that was it. I do want to see more of that, because I think it translates really well into, the regular season, how these guys actually, go about doing their business, go about running a play in certain situations and scenarios. So that'd be nice to see a little bit more of it. But episode 3 of Hard Knocks wasn't the greatest. It was better than episode 2, not better than episode 1. It kind of hit that happy medium. So we'll see what happens with episode 4 next Tuesday on HBO Max at 9 p.m. Central Time, or 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, whatever you'd like to say. So we're going to jump over now to the Denver Broncos. Now, yesterday morning, it was announced that Teddy Bridgewater would be their starting quarterback going forward in the 2021 regular season. Now, this is big news, okay? You got Drew Lock, you got Teddy Bridgewater, they're battling it out. And there was even that thing during the offseason. Is Aaron Rodgers possibly going to be a part of the Denver Broncos? That was a big thing. We talked about it quite a bit. Okay, there was a possibility, Denver trades for Aaron, especially with Aaron's, he was very unhappy with Green Bay, okay? That didn't work out. It just didn't happen. Green Bay ends up keeping Aaron Rodgers, so Denver's like, all right, we got Teddy, we got Drew. Let's see what we got to let's see what guy is going to be, our quarterback going forward. Teddy ended up winning the job. I feel like, they both had some decent preseason games. Their first two that they played, they were kind of very similar to each other. But I believe ultimately this decision was made because I think Drew Lock makes way too many mistakes, not only in games but probably practice, where Teddy's more fluent. Okay, he had his time in Minnesota with an unfortunate ending that was just terrible for him. And then he jumps around, goes to the Saints, and then Jets, and then he goes to the Saints, has that 5-0 start because Drew Brees was hurt. Did his thing, okay? He looks like a really good quarterback. Looks like a starting caliber quarterback that could play well in this league. Okay, so last year, Carolina goes and takes a chance on Teddy. Doesn't quite work out there. They're like, fuck it, let's go get Sam Darnold. Bring Sam Darnold in. Teddy, you're out. Got rid of him, traded him to Denver. Now he's in Denver, okay? There's a quarterback battle going on. Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Lock, who's going to win? Who's going to come out on top? A lot of people were saying, Drew Lock, because he was the man that they thought, hey, draft him in the second round or second or third round. This is going to be our franchise quarterback going forward. We got to, let him, take over the reins. Okay, but there was that other side that was like, Teddy's played NFL football for quite some time, has a 5-0 starting record. Or I guess he did have a 5-0 starting record when he was with the Saints, now with the Vikings. But he's shown that he's capable of playing NFL caliber football. Okay, well, Teddy Bridgewater is the starter in Denver. This is huge, okay? I don't know if they're in better hands or worse hands or what. I think they're in the exact same hands they would have been if they were with Drew Lock, because I think if you start Drew Lock, okay, your season's probably going to end up somewhat similar to that when you have Teddy starting. But I feel like you're going to get more chances, okay? Drew Lock's going to go out there and he's going to take a lot of chances, and with that, it's going to come a lot of mistakes, and that's probably why Teddy was the starter. But you look at Teddy, okay? He's cool, calm, collected, goes out there, just wants to have fun, wants to win football games. He's not going to make that many mistakes. He loves dishing to the running backs, which is huge for Melvin Gordon, who's looking to have a comeback season, if you will, after, coming from the Chargers, not really doing too much with Denver, being that Phillip Lindsay was the guy. But now Melvin Gordon's that guy. Okay, I think Royce Freeman's still there. But this is huge for the Denver Broncos. Okay, because if Teddy doesn't work out, you can go right back to Drew. Okay, you can keep flip-flopping like the Bears did last year with, Nick Foles and Mitch Trubisky, or you can look at what the Dallas Cowboys did with, Ben DiNucci, Andy Dalton, and I believe there's one more in the mix. But they have options, okay? I mean, their wide receivers, Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, Noah Fant at their tight end position. They have the weapons they need on offense. Now that defense just has to play, top tier in order for them to win. I'd say at best 7 games I think they could win this year. If they win more, awesome. If they win less, whatever. Okay, that's just how their season's going to roll out. I have to look at their schedule again and see how tough it is. But, hey, for right now, just know Teddy Bridgewater is in the locked spot for starting quarterback going forward in the NFL regular season. So if you want a fantasy quarterback, don't have the greatest one, Teddy might be the guy to pick up. On other starting quarterback news, the Jacksonville fucking Jaguars have announced their starting quarterback as well. That is Trevor Lawrence of Clemson. Obvious news, pretty much. Okay, we all kind of knew going into this that Jacksonville Jaguars held that first overall pick. Who are they going to take? Are they going to take Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence? Bam, Trevor Lawrence comes off the draft board. Okay, Trevor Lawrence, Gardner Minshew. Who's going to be your starter? Well, they drafted quarterback number 1 overall for a reason. Probably going to be your guy. Gardner Minshew has shown, at least to me, I'm not sure about you guys, but I've always kind of shown or seen some really good work out of Gardner Minshew, okay? I have faith in this guy. He can be a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL. It's just what team would he succeed on the most? I'm not really sure. okay? Because, like, Dwayne Haskins, okay, he goes over to Washington. You know, their organization was kind of on the down a little bit, not really picking up steam until finally they get Chase Young. But his career just wasn't working out, okay? Now he's going into Pittsburgh. He's going to be the starting quarterback for week 3 of the preseason. He's been looking really solid after that Hall of Fame game outing that he had against the Dallas Cowboys that just really didn't mold well at all. But, you know, other than that, week 1, week 2, he did pretty solid. Okay, we're looking at a guy who is trying to revamp his career. Now, is that because of the organizations? I'm not sure, you know. Or is it because, you know, he's just putting in more work? We don't really know. But that could be a huge thing for Gardner Minshew if, you know, Jacksonville Jaguars want to kind of go away from him, because I don't think, like, he's a very, very good backup in the NFL. He would be a stellar backup. But I do believe this man can start. Okay, there are 32 jobs at quarterback in the NFL, not counting the backups. 32 starting jobs. He can make one of those. I have the utmost faith for him to do so. I mean, Houston Texans might need a quarterback with the recent news of Deshaun Watson maybe heading to Miami, maybe heading to the exempt list. We really don't are really unsure. You know, he could probably go to Atlanta after Matt Ryan gets out of that situation. You know, there's a whole bunch of teams kind of circulating around that could use Gardner Minshew for, you know, just a filler for the time being. But, you know, Trevor Lawrence is the obvious pick going forward. You have to put him in there. Number 1 overall pick. Guy just, I mean, what? We went through it. It was like 83-3 or something fucking just ridiculous for Trevor Lawrence's record, counting high school and college. In college, I believe he only lost 1 game. Okay, that's huge. Okay, you don't really see that too often. But big news. Okay, they just cut Tim Tebow, obvious. You know, Travis Etienne Jr. has that season-ending injury with his foot, I believe, that Liz Frank injury that we talked about 2 days ago. Jacksonville's in a very interesting situation. Okay, because when they came into the league, they really were nothing. Okay, I mean, they had Maurice Jones-Drew, they had David Garrard, and all these guys that looked the part, you know, but they really couldn't play the part. Granted, a lot of them were very good athletes. A lot of them played or had really, excellent NFL careers. Okay, but their franchise was just down here where all the other ones were kind of the next step up, the next level up, and then finally, all out of nowhere, Blake Bortles, Jalen Ramsey, lead them to the AFC Championship game against New England Patriots. They lose, and you know, the ship starts to go back down. Okay, so they're right here, coming up, the AFC Championship game right there, and then, I mean, it just literally just fucking boom, done. Okay, got rid of Ramsey, got rid of Bortles, you get rid of Fournette, you get rid of pretty much, I mean, AJ Boye. I mean, there's like a shitload of players that were on that AFC Championship team that they got rid of. They're like, nope, we don't need him. Nope, we don't need him. Nope, we don't need him. Like, those are the guys that are winning you games. Those are the guys that got you there. What the hell is going on? Like, you got to try to keep them happy for as long as possible. Okay, but I think we're back in the mix of things where now Jacksonville, they're, after just taking that nosedive, they're looking to try to come up. And that started with, you know, Trevor Lawrence, and then ETN, trying to get that chemistry with Lawrence since they went to Clemson together. Okay? And then they want to go get another wide receiver. They bring in Marvin Jones from Detroit, who's looking like the number 1 target for Trevor Lawrence. I'm not sure how that's all going to work out when DJ Chark makes his appearance on the football field. But for right now, Marvin Jones is his go-to guy, his number 1 guy that he likes to throw to. Okay, so they're starting to teeter up a little bit. Okay, Travis Etienne goes away. He gets hurt. All right? But now this piece of information also broke today, that apparently some of the players on the Jacksonville Jaguars team are unhappy with Urban Meyer's coaching style. Okay. I mean, that's understandable. I mean, you can go probably to any NFL player out there and be like, so what's something you don't like about your coach? What his coaching style? What's, you know, they're going to find one piece of information that they don't like. I mean, how, like, you guys can go back and look, like, if you played sports and stuff like I did, I mean, every single coach has an upside, okay? You like certain things that they do, but you also hate and dislike certain things that they do as well, okay? I mean, it's just, you got to find that happy medium. He's your coach. especially with these free agents. A lot of these free agents came in knowing what Urban Meyer was, knowing what his style of coaching was. Okay, so there's going to be unhappy people, but apparently they're unhappy. I guess they have like this DJ like person like out there, I guess, during like practice, where once they get done with the drill, the guy's like, hey, go get water, hurry up, go to the next station, let's go, move it, just on the mic trying to get these people going. And I guess a lot of people on the Jaguars team are kind of unhappy with that, with his coaching style. I mean, this whole thing is kind of fraying apart, if you will. I don't understand it. I mean, it's football. You're going to hate a lot of things. You just got to deal with it, okay? I can understand, though, with his coaching style. I mean, he does come, obviously straight from college football, coach for the Gators, coach for Ohio State. So he probably is bringing in a lot of things that he did when he was coaching in college football into the NFL. And it might not translate to these players a lot or as well as he thought it would. But who knows? We could be in for a very interesting season out at Urban Meyer and the Jacksonville Jaguars, because it's going to be really interesting what kind of plays they call, how they, bring themselves about, or, all these types of things kind of play into that scenario. But, with them being unhappy with Urban Meyer's coaching style, it's just kind of like, all right, why did you say that in the first place? Okay, because Urban Meyer's going to try to figure that out and be like, all right, so who the hell was talking shit? You don't like my coaching style? There's the fucking door. Get out of here. We signed you for a reason. You knew what you were getting yourself into. If you don't want to play football, make millions of dollars, there's the door. Just see you later. Like, just keep your mouth shut. That's all you got to do. All right? You get asked, so what do you think about Urban Meyer's coaching style? Oh, it's pretty good. That's all you should have to say. Like, plain and simple. But when you're out there, hey, what do you think about Urban Meyer's coaching style? Well, it's all right. I'm very unhappy with the way, he's running more of a college-style offense, and I think he can go out there and do a little bit more to get us ready for game day and blah, blah, and talk a bunch of crap about him, because that's your team. That's your coach. It's your organization you're representing. You're not doing it very well. Okay, that's one of the big things that they look at as an organization. Does he represent our organization in the most professional manner possible? Is this guy a grade A, professional out there, or is he just a dumbass? Like, that's what they want. That's what they want to know. Granted, the names of these players coming out and doing these, or saying how they're unhappy with his coaching style, that hasn't been released, so that probably won't ever get released, but I'm sure they know in that locker room who those people were, and maybe if they were, rookies, or if they were vets and whatnot, who knows. But just know, Jacksonville Jaguars, week 1 starting quarterback is Trevor Lawrence. They're unhappy with Urban Meyer's coaching style, but we'll see how that pans out, because he is the coach for the entire season. Hopefully, if he gets a couple losses here and there, which is going to happen, he probably won't lose his job, just because, the Jacksonville Jaguars have been in some dark days in the past and really haven't done much about that at all. So, hey, Jacksonville Jaguars found their starting quarterback. Denver Broncos found their starting quarterback. I'm pretty sure the New Orleans Saints found their starting quarterback in Jameis Winston. And, things are starting to take place. They're starting to, fall into place like a bunch of dominoes, one after the other. We only got a couple more to fall. And then we got regular season football. So I'm pumped. You better be pumped, because, this is one of the greatest sports on earth right here, folks. But I guess we're going to move away from those kind of bits of information. We're going to talk about Sony Michel, Patriots running back for quite some time now. Has, I think, 2 rings, I want to say. I know for sure he has 1. He might have 2. But he's been a very solid back for the New England Patriots for quite some time. I really like him. I enjoyed him. There was times where I was like, let Sony play more. Like, I understand James White is the guy right now, but put Sony in there. You're going to get a lot of production on him. He's going to be a good running back. That's like, look, I'm a Patriots fan, okay? Vikings first, Patriots second. Or again, Vikings first, Tom second, Patriots third. That's kind of what I am. But for team-wise, they're my second favorite team, and I kind of follow them here and there. All right? Sony Michel is a very good back. Well, turns out, I believe it was this morning, that the New England Patriots traded Sony Michel to the Los Angeles Rams for a 2022 6th-round pick and a 2023 4th-round pick. Now, this is huge, okay, for the Rams. Rams just, ended up losing Cam Akers, who was said to have a breakout year this year, looking really good, or looking really solid at the end of last year, and was hoping for a good year this year, okay? Well, he goes out, tore ACL, I'm pretty sure. Don't really know what the next step is in the running back room. I mean, they have Darrell Henderson and a couple backups that they're really not, too sure on. I think Jake Funk was one of them that we talked about. I remember that name briefly, but I mean, Darrell Henderson was the only guy they actually had left, and we talked about it. Todd Gurley could probably end up back there. That'd be a good situation. Le'Veon Bell is still out there. Frank Gore, Adrian Peterson. I mean, there's names floating around in free agency that they can go take a good gander at, and sign a little bit. But they decided against that. They're like, nope, let's start fresh. Let's go see if we can get a good or a decent enough man from a different team. I think Sony Michel over there in New England looks pretty solid. Let's go get him. They bring him in. They sign him. This is big. Who's going to start? Darrell Henderson, Sony Michel. Probably Henderson to begin the season. Okay, granted, he's been there a couple years. He knows the playbook, knows the staff, knows the head coach and all that. So he understands a little bit more. But Sony Michel is going to be a very good addition there. How long he stays there? Probably a year. Okay, if he stays there longer than a year, it's probably, or more than likely, because, Darrell Henderson, doesn't want to be on the team anymore, or they just don't have any running backs, obviously. So, but Sony Michel to the Rams, that's a good pick for the Rams. They need that running back. They need that good 1-2 punch, and I think they found it. They have a really good offensive line, a very fucking good defense, number 1, I believe, in fantasy last year. So we'll see kind of how that transpires. I think that was just pretty big news, especially, they got Matthew Stafford's new this offseason. He's throwing to Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. They got that tight end, what's his name? I want to say Tyler Higbee out there in Los Angeles. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a good year to see, A, how does Sony Michel work out in the Rams situation? And B, how does, Matthew Stafford take control of this Rams organization? Does he, lead them to the playoffs and more? Or does, it just kind of explode? Because we all know that a lot of people, are saying, Matthew Stafford's super underrated. He's a very good quarterback. When he was in Detroit, he just didn't have the team around him. And, including myself, he's a very good quarterback, okay? Very, very solid. Makes unbelievable throws. I believe he was, one of the first ones to just try, the no-look pass stuff and all that. And if he goes to the Rams, lays an egg, what does that do to his career? Does people okay, underrated? Yeah, I'm sure my ass, he's not that good. Yeah, because he does have a good team under his belt. But if he goes over there and he pops off, this just adds to, his resume. Shows that, hey, Matthew Stafford is the real fucking deal. But we'll kind of see how their season goes about. They are in they are in the hardest division in football, with the Niners, the Seahawks, the Cardinals. That's going to be a tough one. If I were you, I'd stay away from that division when betting. But yeah, Sony Michel traded to the Rams in a much-needed situation where they don't have that big of a running back room. And that is going to do it for the show this week. As we are now in the final week of preseason football, and I bet everyone is just as excited as I am for the regular season to get underway. But anyways, like I said, we're going to be back here next Tuesday instead of Monday due to my birthday, obviously, greatest day on planet Earth, August 30th. It's just, awesome. Just a good day. So I'm going to take my break that day. We're going to be back here Tuesday talking some football after preseason week 3 is over, and then we'll be headed in the right direction towards the regular season, which starts in 14 fucking days, folks, and I'm pumped. And you should be too. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central like always. And you just got your fix with the Wicks. Appreciate it, guys.